Hello my lovely, beautiful people, SuperMarioT is here to talk some more about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, bring you a weekly news update on the Super Smash Bros. Blog. We just finished week number 19. I would normally do these on a Friday night, upload it somewhere Saturday morning or afternoon, but I'm doing it so early because this week was already a good week, and I'll get into why later. But we have 19 weeks done, 7 weeks to go, a month and a half until the game comes out. Oh my god. Oh my god. On October 14th, Sunday, we got an overview for Shulk. He is the only fighter that can change his status during battle. His sword, the Marshadow, allows him to switch between 5 modes: Jump, Speed, Shield, Buster, and Smash, which changes abilities for a short time. Fun fact, Shulk's 8th color variation puts him in a pair of swimming trunks. So Shulk is back in Smash. I'm really glad he is. As far as changes, I think the only change I think Shulk got was, of course, you could swap between different modes with the Marshadow with his neutral B, but you can instantly choose which specific one at any given moment. You don't have to cycle through all 5 of them in a specific order. You could hold down B and I think pick one of the 5, so I think that's a really good option because it makes Shulk mains have an easier time going for each specific mode that they want to go to. And I really like Shulk as a character in Smash Bros. Because he's so unique in that he has these 5 different modes, but every mode comes with a weakness. Like his jump or his speed, he generally has weaker defense and an easier chance of being knocked back with both of them. Shield, it's harder for him to move and harder for him to recover. Buster deals a lot more damage, but really low knockback, and Smash dealing a lot of knockback, but minimal damage, which there's a lot of technicality behind Shulk, and I love that in the character. There's a relatively big skill curve with some of these characters. I'm having trouble recalling whether Shulk was low tier or mid tier. I think he might have been low tier, but I could be wrong and he might be somewhere in the middle, mid tier. Because Shulk had the properties to being a really good character in Smash Bros. He just suffered when it came to his frame data. A lot of his aerials, his smash attacks, a lot of his attacks basically have some startup or some end lag. It depends here and there. But Shulk is a good character. He just needs better frame data. That's what I think would help him become a viable mid, high, or top tier character. Somewhere between mid and high tier, I would assume. But Shulk is a character I'm glad he got in Smash Bros. Not only for the fact that he's unique, but Xenoblade has prospered relatively well ever since he got into Smash Bros. Because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was relatively niche when it came out on the Wii back in 2010. And then Shulk got added as a newcomer in Smash 4, lots of people knew who he was then. Xenoblade Chronicles X then came out on the Wii U, that was also one of the best claimed titles on the Wii U as well. And then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out in the first year of the Switch, and it's the best-selling Xenoblade Chronicles game out of the entire series. So Shulk, think Fire Emblem for a second, right? Fire Emblem started out as very niche, and then it became one of Nintendo's high-tier franchises thanks to Smash Bros. Shulk and Xenoblade are basically getting the same treatment. Shulk is the face of Xenoblade, like Marth is the face of Fire Emblem. Even though Xenoblade isn't as popular, we're seeing Xenoblade grow to where I think we're gonna see Xenoblade be shown off in Smash Bros. For quite some time, and especially that Shulk will definitely reappear in Smash Bros. Entries. I thought Shulk would come back anyways, whether every character would come back or not, because Xenoblade is just becoming a much more popular franchise, and Shulk basically is the face of the franchise, like I said. So I'm glad he's here, and after Sakurai literally tweeted about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 being one of his favorite games in a long time, and he rarely tweets about games he really likes, so the fact that he tweeted about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 makes me almost positive, 100% positive, that we're gonna get Rex and Pyra, or a Xenoblade character, a Xenoblade 2 character specifically, as DLC, not as a newcomer in the base game. I know for a fact, I'm almost positive we're gonna get DLC for Smash Ultimate, and Rex and Pyra are gonna be characters, a single character, something like Ice Climbers or Rosalina and Luma, you know? Somewhere around there. But Shulk is a character, Shulk coming back into Smash Bros. I'm glad he's here, glad he's back, he's unique, I like uniqueness, and hopefully they buff some of his frame data. I don't know the whole specifics regarding his frame data, but I know that's one of his biggest weaknesses. Because he has the modes and the attacks and knockback and all that other stuff, he just needs better frame data. On Tuesday, October 15th, today's item, the Pokemon Marshadow. This Pokemon can hide in the shadows. When it finds its target, it will emerge from the shadows and deal a powerful punch. When there are multiple opponents, it may change its target between punches, so you better keep an eye out. Marshadow, I don't really have that much of an opinion on Marshadow, believe it or not. I know it's a mythical Pokemon, but I never really got that much fond of Marshadow. I do know it appeared in that one Pokemon movie. What was it? Pokemon I Choose You? I think it literally was titled that, but I barely used Marshadow and rarely seen him, to be honest, so there's not much there for me to really grasp and really say, oh, I like that this is here, or I dislike it. I mean, I do like that he's here, but I didn't really expect Marshadow, which is kind of the weird thing. So, it's pleasant that he's here, but it was a neat little surprise. I like that he basically hides in the shadows. That's basically what he does. He uses Shadow Punch, so that's cool. Like with all the other Pokemon in these weekly updates, I can't really add that much because, particularly with Marshadow, I don't really have that much of an opinion. Like, its design, it's cute, it's alright, not much else to say. On Tuesday, October 16th, you can now listen to Flashman Stage. Enjoy Keiichi Okabe's arrangement featuring a fresh guitar part that kicks into a nostalgic tune. So, I was a little confused on what the song was at first, and then it got into the and I know that from the Mega Man 2 Retro Medley, so I'm like, oh, I know this song, okay. Okay, I'm always happy for more Mega Man 2 arrangements because, I'm gonna be real, the Mega Man remixes in Smash 4, all of them, are so freaking good. So any more Mega Man remixes I could take, because they're just that amazing. This one is also a really good one. I still think Airman Stage, Quickman Stage, and Sparkman Stage are the best ones. But Flashman Stage is a very good remix. Keiichi Okabe did a really good job on this one. And they talked about a stage on the same day being Green Greens, a stage based on Green Greens from Kirby's Dream Land. Wispy Woods, the tree in the center, blows wind to the sides. You can eat the apples it drops to recover health, or you can just pick them up and throw them at your opponent. Green Greens is one of my favorite stages in Melee. It's one of the first stages I think of when I think of Kirby, outside of Dreamland of course from Smash 64, but Green Greens I have a lot of fond memories of. Green Greens was definitely a lot of fun. It's not viable in competitive play because you have those two platforms on the side separated by these blocks and bomb blocks, and it would promote camping. Plus the ceiling is relatively low for the stage, as we see with the E3 Invitational Tournament, that one match between MKLeo and, what was it, Plup? I think it might have been Plup. That one Bayonetta and Ridley 1v1 match in Green Greens, basically. Because, oh my god. I really want to get to Bayonetta whenever they do a character overview for her on one of these weekly updates, or if I ever even get close to analyzing her, because she's one of the most recent characters to be added in Smash Bros. But Green Greens, I love the stage. It looks amazing in HD. The apples, the textures on Wispy Woods, the lighting in the background, the colors, how vivid and saturated the colors are in the background. I really love how it looks, and I'm glad the stage made a return. I missed the stage. It was a good stage. Let's see. October 17th, Wednesday, another overview for the character being Cloud. He's the protagonist of Final Fantasy VII. You can also select his Advent Children outfit. Charging up his limit gauge increases his special move abilities. Land a powerful hit. Going back to the whole everyone is here thing, before we knew every character was coming back, I thought Cloud was done. Cause it seems Cloud barely got into Smash Bros. Cause here's the thing. Square Enix is a third-party company. They're in charge of making Final Fantasy. They have the rights to the property, that whole thing. They could say whether or not they want to add Cloud in there. I get that. But Cloud barely has any history on Nintendo's platforms. I think the only ones, like the only Nintendo, not Nintendo games, but the only games he's appeared on Nintendo platforms were Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy, and all of those games, he's not even the main focus or a main character. He's a boss in the Kingdom Hearts examples, and he comes up as like a summon. And in Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy, I think you summon different Final Fantasy protagonists, and you spread out the focus and the uses for these characters, but Cloud isn't the main focus in any of those games, or Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy. So, Cloud on Nintendo systems barely has much history, much iconic nature, much of an important factor in his appearances. And he's a character in Smash Bros. That just seems very, very wild to me. Like, in that sense, it doesn't make that much sense. But in a broader sense, it does, because Final Fantasy is one of, if not the most popular RPG series out there. Cloud is one of the most definable RPG characters, and one of the most definable and popular Final Fantasy characters. So, you would think Cloud if you were thinking Final Fantasy. And him as a character does make sense if you're going off a broader popularity sense. But in the sense that, like Final Fantasy has history with Nintendo, Cloud specifically not having much, that is a little jarring. But the fact that Cloud made it in Smash Brothers at all, if you're that popular enough, I think you have a good chance at being a character in Smash Brothers. I'm gonna bring this up again in a later video where I'm making my final predictions on the final base roster in Smash Ultimate, because like lots of people say like, oh King K. Rool isn't relevant. He got in Smash Brothers. Ridley, he's too big. And like he got in Smash. Sakurai's been very adamant on Ridley. This goes back to the newcomers argument to where certain characters be like, oh, they're not relevant, oh, they're not popular enough. Like, I'm thinking Geno specifically when I'm talking about this, by the way. The slight spoiler alert, I think Geno's going to be in the game. And this is primarily why, because Cloud supports this argument, and there's other arguments I'm going to bring up in that video too. So, there's that. But the reason that makes me think Cloud barely got in there is because there's not that much representation regarding Final Fantasy. Because there's Cloud, there's Midgar, there's his moveset, his Final Smash. We have 2 Final Fantasy songs, a Mii outfit being the Chocobos, and that's roughly it. There's really not that much regarding Final Fantasy content in Smash Brothers. It's just the character, the stage, and a Mii outfit. And compared to Bayonetta, Street Fighter, Mega Man, Sonic, Pac-Man, even Snake, we got a lot more around there. We got more songs, we got some more costumes around those characters and their series. We just got more with the other third parties than we did with Cloud. And again, Cloud barely has any history with Nintendo compared to those other third-party characters. Like, Bayo had 2 games, Sonic's had plenty of games on Nintendo systems at this point. Same for Mega Man, same for Pac-Man, same for Street Fighter. Metal Gear Solid had a couple games here and there. They definitely had a GameCube exclusive. I think it was a Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. But Cloud and Final Fantasy, ever since it left, since the SNES era, there's not that much Final Fantasy to go off of. There's some, don't get me wrong, but nothing regarding the main games specifically. Regarding the changes to Cloud, those are interesting, because Cloud got a lot of nerfs and a couple buffs here and there. And I think all of them are very, very well deserved. So, his neutral air, that ridiculously long-ass neutral air, it got nerfed in range. There's something with this down air, I forget specifically, but when you land on the ground, there's like no end lag when you do it specifically. I forget, like, say you do a full hop down air and you land on the ground, there's no end lag whatsoever. You can immediately act out of it. I forget the specifics, but I think, like, if you do it in Ultimate, it takes longer for you to recover, so it's more punishable. The main changes regarding Cloud that I think are interesting regard his up B and his limit. His up B climb hazard, it doesn't matter where you use it, ascending or descending at any point, because the hitbox where you latch onto the ledge is extended with the sword, so Cloud's recovery just got even a little bit better than it was before. You snap onto the ledge a lot easier when using Climb Hazard, which is a really good thing, because Cloud, his only weakness I would say is his recovery. It's very exploitable. His limit, it takes 15 seconds to charge. That's a really good thing. If you hit him while he's charging, he loses some of that gauge. A fully charged like side B with the limit, that ridiculously OP attack, like, it has decreased knockback, his down B, finishing touch, has a smaller hitbox. There's a lot of changes, not a lot, but necessary changes regarding Cloud, because the thing with Cloud is he was arguably the second best character in Smash 4. He had a lot of range, he had a lot of damage, a lot of knockback, he had a really good frame data, it's just his recovery was relatively exploitable. It was very average. Not only that, Cloud was a really easy character to pick up. There's a whole meme in the Smash community that like, oh, I'll just whip out my pocket Cloud. Just pocket Cloud if you want to get good in the tournament. If you want to get far in the competitive scene, just pocket Cloud. Cloud was ridiculously good in Smash 4, and the fact that he basically has decreased range, his limit is not nearly as busted as it used to be in Smash 4, and his recovery is good, which is his main weakness. I think that's very, very deserving of Cloud, because I don't think some people know, when you fully charge Cloud with his limit, it's not just his specials that get insanely buffed, a lot of his base attributes get buffed too. He has faster run speed, faster air speed, he's slightly heavier, he deals slightly more damage and slightly more knockback. Like, small, really small base changes made to his character, his base attributes got buffed up. Like, think Shulk's Marshadow arts, but like very, 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 very slightly across his entire character, like all of them mashed into one when using limit charge. That's basically what happened with Cloud in Smash 4, and the fact that it only takes 15 seconds for you to use it, there's a lot more strategy revolving around using limit to your advantage, using Cloud to your advantage since he has decreased range, and slightly longer like end lag on some of his aerials and moves. I think it actually makes Cloud mains, or like Cloud, a lot more viable or bearable in terms of accepting them as a good character, because Cloud was good, but before Bayonetta, Cloud was basically the tipping point people had when it came to accepting, like, oh, this character is so busted, it's not as fun, especially with the fact that Cloud was super easy to pick up. Now this makes Cloud a lot more viable and, like, easier to stomach than it was in Smash 4. There's a bigger skill curve, and I think that is deserving of Cloud. He's still going to be really good, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be as easy to get that far in tournaments. I still think he's going to be probably a top tier character, if not high tier, somewhere around there. He's still going to be very good, but otherwise, he's definitely going to be a little bit harder to pick up, which, thank God. Thank God. The limit especially being nerfed is what really satisfies me, by the way. And here's another satisfying thing. Here's a little mini story, by the way. So on October 18th, like, I'm recording this on October 18th. It's 11 o'clock at night. I'm driving home from school because I have like a gaming club on Thursdays at like 6 to 10, and I'm coming home. I'm saying in the back of my head, I wonder when Palutena's gonna get a weekly update like these guys do. And I'm walking into my room, I set my stuff down, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, and I'm thinking about Palutena specifically. There's plenty of stuff I gotta talk about with her, because for you guys that don't know, I main Palutena, and I'm thinking, oh, there's plenty of stuff I could dissect with when it comes to Palutena. And I go on the website, well, she got an overview. Today's fighter, Palutena. With her wings and staff, this goddess's attacks cover a wide range. With her up smash, neutral special, and side special, she can create a ranged attack in almost every direction except for directly beneath her. Keep the pressure on your opponents from a distance with ranged attacks. I was like, well, damn, look who it is! I was literally just thinking about you! The person I was thinking about gets the update. Thank you, Sakurai. You already made 2 weeks in a row. I got Dr. Mario and Greninja last week, mainly Dr. Mario, and I'm like, okay, this is one of my favorite weeks. Next week, here, have Palutena. Thank you, Sakurai. You're spoiling me today. So, Palutena's back in Ultimate. I'm really happy she's back. See, the funny thing is with Palutena is that people thought she'd be cut. People thought she'd be cut. The second most important integral character to the Kid Icarus franchise, one of the most integral characters and important characters in Uprising specifically, she's not going to be in the next Smash game. Like, what? Like, she's definitely popular. She's one of the main Nintendo waifus at this point. She's one of the most popular and important characters in Kid Icarus. Like, she's Pit's best friend, basically. How would you think she'd be cut? But this is before the fact that everyone was here, right? So, I'm glad that she's here based on that fact. But the buffs she got, so far, they're pretty freaking good. Let's see. Her auto reticle's the same. Her side special is now the Explosive Flame custom move, and her down special literally combines her previous side special Reflect with her counter, which I think it increases its practicality so much more, because here's the thing with counters, right? We got a lot of counter characters in Smash Brothers, especially with Fire Emblem characters. Palutena's counter is one of the worst counters in Smash 4. Good luck trying to kill with those. Like, you could get a read off a move and sure, you could counter it and deal some damage, but if you're going to try to kill with Palutena's counter, good luck racking up damage on that, because it's going to take a while for you to do that. It's not nearly as good as, say, Marth or Robin, any of the Fire Emblem characters, not Robin, but Ike, Corrin, any of the Fire Emblem characters' counters. Palutena's counter is the worst in the game. Her Reflect, it has super slow startup, and it was easily punishable. It was not only easily punishable if you used it, like there was a steady amount of end lag, but if you're up against the character with 0 projectiles, that move is completely useless. It gives you a little push, sure, but you barely use that. Like, you could use that for Trolls on 4 Glory or some shit. But if you're going to use that in competitive play, in tourneys, you're barely going to use that at all, unless you're dealing with a projectile-heavy character. So, Reflect, there's barely that much use outside of against projectiles specifically. And now that it's tied to her counter, that makes it much more practical. Because, say, it doesn't matter who you're dealing with, now you can use counter for basically, like, any factor. Whether for damage, whether for projectiles. Like, her specials have increased practicality and optimization now. And I think that's one of the things she needed the most. And, let's see. I don't know specifics regarding her aerials, but she has really good aerials. Her up air is stupidly, funnily so good. It could kill it like 100%. Like, down throw up air, like, I hope that's still a combo in this game. It's still a true combo. So, well, it's not really a true combo. If you DI it properly, you could escape it. But there's also her forward air. The main issues regarding Palutena specifically is that it's a lot like Shulk's frame data, because Shulk suffers from long end lag, long startup. Like, it's very similar to that. Like, Palutena's main weakness is her frame data. It's very similar. A lot of her moves really slow and really punishable. Like, her aerials are the exception. Her back air is one of her best moves. It also has like a shield factor, so you try to challenge it, you're definitely going to get knocked back, or you won't get damage from a projectile specifically. But her down air though, oh my god, if you miss that down air, you're going to be descending for like 2 seconds. And if you're not quick enough, if you're fast falling especially, you're dead. There's no way getting around it, you're just dead. Her tilts, really slow, really punishable. Her smash attacks, they're powerful, but oh my god, they got so much end lag. Her up smash is really good though. Her up smash they could keep. Like, I don't care how much they change that one, but her side smash, her down smash, her tilts, that, and she has very little approach options. Like, this is very similar to Dr. Mario, and I'm getting into another little mini character discussion / rant, because the issue with Dr. Mario with me is that he's very bad at approaching because he's stupidly slow. Palutena, she's fast, she has really good walk speed and run speed, which is very good, so she can approach, but she doesn't have many options to approach with. Whereas with Mario / Dr. Mario, you have the options, but you lack the speed. It's vice versa with Palutena, because you're relatively limited on options you're going to use to rack up damage. Like, a lot of her playstyle revolves around grabbing, down throwing, using her aerials. You barely use your smash attacks. You almost never use your tilt unless you get good reads off of that in smashes. So you gotta play very defensive with Palutena. And I'm an aggro playstyle user. Like with Mario, Dr. Mario, other characters, I bit the end of the stick very hard with Dr. Mario with this, but say Mario for example, right, or Yoshi, I'm very aggro with those characters. Like, I love playing offensive with them. I tried with Palutena, that shit does not work. I learned like defensive, campy playstyles because of Palutena. She is a relatively technical character, and the description here makes you think you have to keep pressure on your opponents, like she's a spacious type character, and she kind of is. She has the tools to space, but she's not really projectile heavy. As in, like, you don't use projectiles that much to rack up damage. You have to get in and grab. She's just a very defensive, very spacious type character. I'm thinking Marth specifically, but like, she has auto reticle and explosive flame now, and her aerials keep opponents at bay and like keep her away. She is good at spacing, but it's just like half of her moveset is easily punishable. That's the annoying thing. Her main weakness is half of her moves have plenty of end lag, and they're very easy to punish. Like, in a nutshell, when we're thinking Palutena, she has really good aerials, she's a fast character. Her jab is really good, actually. I didn't even touch on that. That's really good to set up into a grab or throw your opponent off guard. But she has a good jab, she has good aerials, she has good speed, but she's limited on options when it comes to approaching, and there aren't that many options regarding her playstyle. Like, you have to play defensively with Palutena, otherwise you're gonna get the crappy end of the stick. Looking at her in Ultimate, she's got plenty of buffs, like I said. Her jump squad, her forward tilt and up tilt are executed significantly faster than it was before. Her dash attack has less end lag. Her forward smash might have less end lag. Her back air and down aerial appear to have less end lag. The end lag on Palutena's moves was arguably one of her biggest weaknesses, and oh my god! They're fixing it! They're fixing that shit! Thank you so much! Oh my god, I cannot wait to pick up Palutena in Ultimate, because here's the funny thing, right? In Ultimate, it seems like the game seems to award aggressive playstyles more than defensive, contrary to Smash 4. Like, you have a better shot at getting far in Smash 4 playing defensively, playing campy. If you play aggro, like, you could easily get some reads off of aggro playstyle users. You can be aggro and you can get far, but you gotta have some gauge of defensive nature in your playstyle. In Smash Ultimate, it's the opposite, and Palutena is a very defensive character, but the fact that her moves are faster makes me hope she's gonna be at least a little bit more aggro. Like, her aerials and all that other stuff is good, but just improve her frame data. Like, make her moves faster, make the startups shorter, her end lag shorter too, especially since other characters actually have reduced end lag and startup on a lot of their attacks, heavyweights, lightweights, like a lot of characters, Ganondorf, so Palutena could hopefully get the same treatment as well. I just hope, like, her tilts, like, she has better approach options, right? Like make her moves faster, maybe make like some of her moves safer on shield. I don't know specifics, but I think she just needs some more approach options, and I think making her moves faster and less punishable would be a good way of getting to that area. And the fact that they're doing that between forward tilt, her up tilt, her dash attack, which is a really good dash attack, her forward smash, especially if that appears to be true. My god, please be true. Her back air, her down air, and even reflect barrier too, because both those moves are combined. Like, it comes out much faster than it used to. Oh my god. The fact that all of her end lag is decreasing and her startup is like decreasing as well, I think this is going to make Palutena a better character. Like, I'm seeing more potential with Palutena now than I am with Dr. Mario. Well, I might see a little more hope for Palutena than I am with Dr. Mario, because so far we just know his down air is a spike and his jump is slightly better. With Palutena, we know that like a decent chunk of her moves have less end lag, they're faster on startup. I think the only nerf she got was her dash attack doesn't travel nearly as far as it used to, which I'm fine with. I don't care about that. Her dash attack's good anyways, so that's good. But as long as they reduce her end lag and reduce her startup, just make her moves faster, just make her an even faster character than she was before. Like, make her less punishable. That's her biggest flaw. Otherwise, she's looking... she is looking fine, man. Looking very beautiful, very crisp. She might be mid-tier. Like, holy crap, that might be a good thing. I can't wait to pick up my waifu. Oh boy. I don't know why I picked up a low-tier waifu, it's just making it harder for me, but like, I mean, I pick up Mario anyway, so I think I'm good. I love Palutena, in case you haven't noticed. Oh my god, please make a Kid Icarus game on the Switch, or even just port Uprising. I'll take Uprising remastered, but Palutena in Smash Bros. I'm glad she's back. I'm glad that she's here. Can't wait to see more Kid Icarus remixes. But I think that generally covers it regarding Palutena and the rest of this week. So, much like last week with Dr. Mario and Greninja, this week is one of my favorites, mainly because of Palutena, but also because of Cloud. I like Cloud. Cloud's one of my favorite newcomers in Smash 4, even though he's ridiculously busted. But let me know what you guys thought down below. Did you like this week? Did you hate it? Did you like the fact that Palutena was on here? It's like, oh, SMT is going to talk about the waifu today. I see. Okay, that's enough of that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more Smash Ultimate coverage. Stay tuned for more analyses. Hopefully, at this point, my god, I'm so bad with those analyses. However, I don't got homework this weekend, so I can focus more on videos. So I at least want to get a character prediction video out there. My last one, my final base, well, not my last one, but I'm wanting to get my final base character roster predictions out there by this weekend. So hopefully there's that. Otherwise, stay super and stay lovely like the waifu. Appreciate Palutena.